but we will launch digitally, and that is going to happen in style. But as we do that, I want to recognize we have 2 of the top 10 taxpayers in this room, Honorable Minister. MTN was represented here. They just walked out, but I know Airtel is represented here, and the MD of the Airtel mobile section, I think, is here. If you can stand for recognition. We want to thank you for supporting development in this country. All right? So may I now invite the dancers. They will transition us to the launch video, and the launch video will then usher us into the digital launch, which the Honorable Minister will do very shortly.
si tu as le niveau. Uganda Revenue Authority, established in 1991 by Act of Parliament to efficiently manage national tax administration in order to generate revenue to fund government programs. Our primary responsibility is to collect domestic taxes and international trade taxes. Over the years, we have seen our tax to GDP ratio grow from 6.8% in financial year 1991-1992 to 13% as of financial year 2021-2022. All this happened amidst tough situations like the ever-changing tax policies, the wide tax ecosystem through which organizations, activists, and donors contribute to this agenda, the obsolete tax infrastructure, the increasing digitalization of the economy, and above all, the outbreak of the deadly COVID-19 coronavirus in 2020 that saw the whole economy come to a standstill. Nevertheless, we have not backed down on our responsibility to Ugandans. In a bid to tackle the prevailing tax collection challenges, we have strategically partnered with organizations like the United Nations Development Program that have advised on regulations, governance, and policy. We have designed and developed technologies with a robust architecture that enables the ease of tax collection. And now, we are launching and operating stable URA services like Webflow, a system that allows you populate and fill all your necessary documentations at the comfort of your home, office, or wherever you may be. The Electronic Fiscal Receipting and Invoicing System, IFRIS, which enables taxpayers track and validate business transactions in real time for business management, hence proper bookkeeping and sales management. This eliminates the risk of physical loss of tax invoices as transactional data are digitally stored in the system. Non-intrusive inspection, a modern method used in customs to screen imported and exported goods without disrupting the integrity and allows for verification of different goods. Instant tax identification number. Upon submission of your national identification number, the system automatically retrieves the taxpayer's data from NIRA, then automatically populates some of the fields, and voila, you have your tax identification number. E-learning platform. Uganda Revenue Authority has created a platform that allows all taxpayers to educate themselves about anything tax related. From registration to filing, the possibilities are endless. We are providing a simplified tax experience near you. Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to now take the pleasure of inviting the Honorable Minister, the UNDP country representative, the chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Finance, our partners, UFFA, PwC, the NITA Uganda, to come, with the minister to come and formally launch our strategy. We will do it digitally here. The CG Honorable Minister will show you what is going to happen here. So may I invite those stakeholders, our chairman of the Finance Committee, the chairman Kasita, UFFA, PwC, the Commissioner IT, URA, and Sheila Ngatia, the Deputy Country Representative for UNDP, to come. You'll all be at the front here. Honorable Minister, we have a young man, we call them techies. Techie. These technology experts who will show you what you're going to do very shortly. So may I invite our partners to come? Mutebi, yes, you're here. I need to, you're witnessing this. Honorable Minister Kasita has also come to ensure that the platform is available to them. They have IT experts downtown, and they've been helping them build capacity. There you go. Honorable Minister is going to formally launch digitally this platform. So let us witness this. The IT team is taking him through the process. Yes, I think we have the visuals on screen. We will be able to see the screen interface on the screens in front of us and witness the Honorable Minister signing. There you go. There you go. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I will then now ask the Honorable Minister to come to the front up here with the CG. We want to take the formal photos. So the key stakeholders, after you've signed, you'll join the Honorable Minister here. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Our chair of the committee, Sheila, you will sign and join. We'll have our stakeholders sign. We'll now have the photo moment. As we prepare for that, there is another QR code we have provided for you, our invited guests. This is our URA Digital Strategy Launch Evaluation. Since you already downloaded the strategy and you have been interfacing with it, please do scan this particular page. It's different from the other two you had. That's the evaluation page. We want you to evaluate the strategy and this particular launch, which gives us feedback on this launch itself. And I want to also request you stay with us because after this particular session, we'll have our panel discussion. It will be very, very short and interesting. Ms. Jessie Abonyo will run us through that with our key stakeholders. And thereafter, we'll have our innovation awards. We'll cut the cake and then have lunch together. So this is the formal launch part. If we could have the screen, main face, interface on the screen. Honorable Minister, just one more minute. We're just changing the background of the screen. So there you go. All right. So we'll give the photographers 30 seconds. Big check. Vero. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the Honorable Minister. We want to thank him. Can we give the Honorable Minister a round of applause? Yes. All right, so the other stakeholders can leave. We'll leave the Honorable Minister here, the CG and our chair of the committee, and invite the other members of Parliament. Please come, Honorable Paul and your team. I saw my friend, Honorable Nakut. So please all come, members of Parliament. The committee is well represented here. We want to thank the members of Parliament for joining us for this strategy launch. And we want to thank you for coming and for driving this digital agenda as we continue to build on our tax base. We want to thank you. Honorable Minister, we thank you so much for your time. We are aware you are moving to another activity, but we will now quickly transition. And I want to invite Ms. Jessie to quickly come and invite her panelists. And Jessie, please note, we are working within 30 minutes, I have been told. So I hope we will manage to get in as much information as possible with our panelists. But I'm told the panelists are very sharp. They know how to answer short questions.
Thank you very much, Maurice. You have given me a hard task because when we start talking tax and now digital, we could have lunch at 2, but I will do my best. Thank you. Can we give Maurice a big thank you for walking us through the morning? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a staff of Uganda Revenue Authority, and it is my singular honor to have the opportunity for a couple of conversations that we are going to have this afternoon that will help us bring all these technology things we've talked about home. What's a digital strategy for us? When our Honorable Thaddeus goes back and he's meeting his colleagues, they're going to ask him, so what were you doing there at URA? And he has to be able to clearly describe what it is that we are doing here. And Robert has done his best to tell us that ultimately what we all want to experience as staff, as stakeholders, as partners, as taxpayers is a simplified tax experience near you. And near you means in wherever environment you're flourishing in. For as long as you have all your data in and you're connected, we hope at the end you will be able to smile and continue with your business of generating income that will support us in developing Uganda. And with me, I have a very interesting group of, they can be technocrats, but we are going to keep the language very simple. And we are going to keep our narratives very clear so that everybody walks away knowing what their role is or anticipating the support that they're supposed to get. And so without taking our first initiative, we work with partners, we collaborate and network, and we don't do this alone. And the panelists who are coming represent the different hands that join ours to deliver this very important service. And we hope that as we speak into our current journey, we'll also be able to draw lessons that will help URA improve on their processes. Next week, we will be running a series of engagements through the week where we hope our clients and taxpayers may come in and test some of those platforms that we've talked about today. So we have a client service week that will be running, and we will be asking you to come and join us. So our first panelist serves as the head of Information Technology and Security with the Uganda Communications Commission, Mr. Michael Bamwesije. Please welcome to the podium. And I will be seating us from my far right all the way to this place. So Michael has served UCC for more than 5 years now, and we will be drawing on his keen experience and the role that UCC plays to support us in ensuring, someone talked about data protection and all these other elements that make for a key and keen service experience. My second panelist has lived digital, supports digital, and is right now our head cash and liquidity management, corporate and investment banking at Stanbic Bank, Uganda, with more than 9 years experience in that area. Mr. Gabriel Kagwisaje, you're welcome. Please join us at the podium. And for a while, technology was very male-oriented. But we have a panelist who's dug her hands into that experience, and she has more than 10 years experience in not only talking tax, but supporting our valuable taxpayers to make sure they comply. And so allow me to welcome from PwC, Ms. Pamela Natamba. Could we give them a round of applause as they make their way here? And we wouldn't be able to do our work without them, without their partnership, and without tugging at the heartstrings of the need for us to develop Uganda as a team, and that's Team Uganda. And to help us unpack a couple of their expectations, I would like to invite from Kasita, Mr. Tadeus Musoke Nagenda, to join us on the podium. Mr. Musoke is our association's acting Secretary General and a myriad of experiences. I am expecting candidness from him because ultimately our simplified service must address their need. All right, and the people who ensure we have an IT backbone that we can work with, none other than our Director e-Government Services at National Information Technology Authority Uganda, NITAU, Mr. Collins Babirukamu. Please join us on the podium. Come on, guys, let's give these guys energy so that while we start the conversations, we will be able to... Okay, so Mr. Collins Babirukamu, you're welcome. And finally, the team that has been holding our hands through this journey and have sponsored us in some of the elements for this ceremony. He serves as the Chief Strategy and Policy Unit and Senior Economic Advisor with the UNDP. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome Dr. Panivel to join us on the podium here. And to make sure I have eyesight for all my panelists, I need a kind gentleman to come and help me tilt this podium so that I can see everybody's face. Thank you very much. I'll keep it. Thank you very much, Maurice and Bossa. And now, we have listened to the dream that URA has presented us. And without a doubt, it's going to come with a lot of hard work, a lot of collaboration, and putting our skin in the game. But in order for us to do that, we need to be able to clarify what some of our collaborative partners here think, have heard, and their first impressions about what our digital strategy is promising. And then I will go ahead and also ask your thought processes on some of the areas that we would like to specifically connect on. Okay? I am sure we can all unmute and greet our distinguished guests as well, even as I state my first question. Digital doesn't work without connectivity. And that means my first question is going to Michael. And allow me to take a conversational tone here. So I will lay down very little formalities because we are getting feedback from our guests as well. So connectivity infrastructure is absolutely key for us to be able to deliver on this promise. And you have listened to the dream that we have laid out. Share with us your first impressions of our strategy, and then kindly unpack for us what you at UCC will be able to do to help us increase network coverage across the country. My bullets are already flying, so feel free just to receive them and let's go from there. So Michael, what are your thoughts?
First of all, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
And congratulations to you, URA, upon this launch. My thoughts initially when I perused this strategy was as impressed one that we are getting into an era where we are making sense of the data that we have. It's very, very, very critical. And even as we heard from the Committee of Parliament, they want to make decisions based on empirical data. So it is important that whatever data we are gathering, we're able to make sense of it to guide our decisions. So for me, that is a key. I was very, very impressed with that. But of course, the other is, even within government, the fact that technology is expensive, and the fact that URA has initiatives to find that balance where you're not overshooting the costs, but yet delivering value in terms of technology. So for me, those two were things that stood out for me.
Okay.
Yeah. In terms of the questions you asked about ensuring connectivity.
Yes.
One, I'll take it back from the National Broadband Policy of 2018 that insists that all Ugandans must access services without discrimination. Now, from that policy, at the UCC, then what we did is to change our licensing framework. One, to ensure that telecom operators are able to give coverage of 90% geographical coverage to Ugandans. So it's part of their licensing obligations that they roll out, or they give us a plan that demonstrates that. And every year, we do issue compliance certificates to them to ensure that we are tracking that plan and seeing it through. But secondly, from the Universal Access Fund, we also partner with them to ensure that we extend connectivity to areas that are underserved, ordinary areas that would not make business sense for someone to put services there. So we partner with them to ensure that we reach those areas as well and have connectivity there.
All right. And what you're actually saying is that for our officers down at Ngomoromo, I'm not sure you've heard of that, but we have a station way out there that if they have to submit a report about goods that are going out or coming in, they will have connectivity. In as much as it's far, it's distant, it might not look possible to send services there, they will have connectivity. And that's partly what our IT team does here. Ensure that our staff, as they deliver on their services, actually are able to connect and do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And that means for us to be able to do this in a manner that is both sustainable, is value adding, we must be able to draw certain insights into how we are running our tax administration work here. And so my next question goes to the only lady at the panel, Miss Pamela Natamba. You interact quite a bit with us, and you provide tax advisory services to your clients, who are our clients as well. And so from the outlook of what you have seen, what does it take for these digital strategies to be successful?
Okay, thank you, Jesse, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps I'll first start by adding my voice to the previous panelist to thank the URA, but also to congratulate you on this milestone, because when I started my career in tax, supporting taxpayers many years ago, we were doing everything manually. We were filling in manual tax returns. We had to walk to the URA to sort any challenges that the taxpayers had. So the fact that we can now do everything by the click of a button on our computers, I really must congratulate you. You've done a great job. To your question, I think one of the things that, and I'm speaking from the experience dealing with taxpayers, one of the things that is critical for the success of your strategy is having buy-in. I guess that sounds like an obvious point. Buy-in both from the perspective of you, the administrators, and the teams that you work with that are supposed to help the URA implement this strategy, and also buy-in from the perspective of the users who are the taxpayers. And there are many initiatives that we have utilized, ranging from registration for taxes to being able to comply and file your returns, to payment of taxes, all the way to responding to assessments and audits. And sometimes you will realize that if the teams at the URA are well equipped, it makes that process a lot easier. If the teams, on the other hand, are not well equipped or not familiar with some of these processes, then we struggle to resolve any of these issues expeditiously, but also in a manner that then creates a collaborative approach.
Yes.
So yes, buy-in and making sure that all the teams are aligned on the side of the URA. And on the side of the taxpayers, again, buy-in in terms of what is it you're introducing? Have they been consulted in the process of introducing these very wonderful initiatives? Have they been given time to process what you're introducing, to explain their unique circumstances of the businesses that they operate? Because while you will introduce a very good initiative, if it does not speak to me as a taxpayer, if I struggle to use it, if I struggle to give you the right information that you need to input, then you won't get what you need out of that process. Because like with any technology at PwC, we call it tech-powered, but people-led. It's what you put in there. If you put in poor quality data, it's what you're going to get out. If you put in quality data, you're going to get positive results. So those are 2 points. The one that I would also mention is the ability to use these systems, the data, meaningfully, so that it then helps you expand the tax base. And I think the Commissioner General spoke to that. So you will measure your success by saying, when we introduced, for example, IFRIS, or when we introduced e-tax, how did that help us get more information, which information then helped us to reach more taxpayers and expand our revenue sources?
Yes.
Thank you.
True. And to that, Robert did speak about reaching out, but also the quality of the information and data that we share with each other as well will be absolutely important. Thank you very much, Pamela. And for us to be able to have that collaborative interaction, we know that there are countries that have done this, and they have platforms that work seamlessly, that are very integral and collaborative. Our guest, who is our economic advisor at UNDP, has had a wide scope of experience. And because over the last decades, many Asian countries have been able to test and implement digital tax administrative initiatives, and they are working well. So I would like to ask you to share some of the good practices, because even as we have enumerated all these great ideas, what must we keep at the forefront as we begin the engagements to deliver, as we seek for continuous improvements and simplify it for our taxpayers more? So what good practices must we keep our hands on?
Thank you. Yes. First of all, before I go into the sharing Asian experiences, I want to actually congratulate Uganda Revenue Authority for not only actually launching this very comprehensive digital taxation strategy, but also doing a number of innovative the initiative which I was privileged to go through the contact center, data center, and other things. It was really remarkable that perhaps Uganda is one of the top digital tax administration within the Africa continent. So I want to first recognize, congratulate the Uganda Revenue Authority for pioneering, for that kind of strategic leadership. Now, like Uganda, almost all Asian countries, I was privileged to actually work about 25, 30 Asian countries, and I have visited several countries, many times. So last 20 years, Asian countries was doing a similar digital taxation strategy. Almost all the countries now completed what Uganda has also achieved. The initial waves of digitalization of tax administration, the electronic registration, e-filings, e-payment, e-auditing, those all have been, almost all the country has done. The second waves, the last 5 years, at least some of the emerging countries, they are moving into the second wave, little bit more advanced, actually, the leveraging the artificial intelligence, actually technology, of predicting, actually, they're trying to now analyze the citizen behavior by machine learning, other type of instrument. Basically, they map out all kind of online social media engagement, also try to map out all kind of the transaction data, whether it's a travels, whether it is the procuring car, two-wheeler, whatever it is. So they kind of, you won't believe that the government actually in many countries like China, Asia, is trying to monitor, try to address the tax avoidance and the tax evasion in a big way. They are able to now offer, in the last 3-4 years, many countries now offer electronically, automatically free-filled tax return for the citizen. Basically, the machine is a fill up your tax form. All citizen has to do is that basically review whether the data which you actually, on behalf of you, filled by the machine is accurate. If not, make some small adjustment and submit. So that is the situation. Thanks to such things, almost more than 15 Asian countries like Uganda had a huge increase in the tax GDP ratio. Like some country achieved 10% increase, some countries increased 5%. I'm not going to the detail. Let me highlight specific country, like what some of the emerging country, what are some of the least developed country has done, so that you would actually situate Uganda's situation in Asia. Country like China introduced what they call it the golden tax system. Basically, they are using all kind of data to the commercial data, other kind of data to predict the people actually spending behavior, income behavior, and then predict that the tax potential, try to do that. And they also initiated, identified 1,000 the top highly paying taxpayers, and they are trying to focus a specific initiative to do that. Businesses and other people, the 1,000 taxpayer initiative. So these are some of the initiatives China has done. Similarly, India also first started with the digital and the direct taxation side, like simple, like what Uganda has done in the last 5-10 years. They've done that. In the last 6-7 years, India has reformed the indirect tax system. Basically, they amended the Constitution of India to introduce what they call it goods and service tax, to basically to merge all kind of indirect taxation to have one umbrella taxation through automatic system. And as thanks to that, in the last 10 years, India able to raise the tax revenue over 303%.
Okay.
So massive increase. So similarly, Nepal is a least developed country, a landlocked developing country, low income country. It's the situations is similar to Uganda, where I used to work for some years.
Okay.
Nepal also has done similar reforms. Nepal also made a remarkable progress. In terms of lesson learned, what are the lessons we could learn? The experience in Asia shows that, yes, the digital transformation in the tax administration is needed to address the tax evasion, tax avoidance, all kind of things. But mere looking into the e-filing, e-payment, e-refund, e-auditing alone is not going to actually get more revenue. So basically, you need to back up with the data analysis. Like try to link with the different type of data to identify the citizen behavior. Okay. The next actually lesson learned is that you need to have a holistic user-driven approach, integrated approach, because the digital transformation, URA alone cannot do. It has to be done with the various ministry, department, agency. You need to bring into that. The third one is the importance of advocacy, outreach activities. The people need to aware of that, how easy in e-filing, getting e-payment, those kind of things. So then in terms of way forward, I would like to highlight that, as the Commissioner General indicated, the launching, the opening of a state-of-art data center. Many countries in Asia launched similar data center 5 years back, 3 years back. So the important point is that the URA need to actually invest to connect both state, non-state actor data system. You know, there is a big data. The government can actually, the URA could also map out all kind of data available from the Facebook, Twitter, all kind of other things to integrate, to do that. Second one, the real-time taxpayer support, which you are already been doing. The third one is actually the importance of data security. Many countries has invested. I'm also happy to actually hear from the Commissioner General and other colleagues that you are also investing a lot to the data protection, data safety. So that sense, I'm really impressed the way the URA actually identified the challenges, identify some of the best practices in Africa, other countries, and try to, follow that best practices in this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And I think you have underscored the importance that technology is not just going to churn out anything. We have to be able to use it, and the people have to use that data, and therefore we must have the skill to interrogate whatever platform we're using to get to the services. And talking about platforms, I know that Mr. Tadeus is here representing the largest group that we interact with on a day-to-day basis. And these have the potential to actually pivot us from where we are now to getting the target that the minister was telling us that we need to get to. So in as much as we have launched this digital dream, what would you want to see URA do to make this simple, to make this, and to provide support so that our colleagues down there who are running the hustles on a daily basis can actually comply on an easy level?
Thank you. Just I need to make some correction. I'm the acting chairman of CASITA.
Oh,
and I'm Dr.
apologies.
Musoke Thaddeus Nagenda, PhD.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to congratulate URA for this great strategy. And then also I want to thank the Honorable Minister. As CASITA, we are working closely with the Ministry of Finance, and then URA, we are partners. We are so happy for this great strategy First of all, we have a challenge in the business community of perception. At times, we try, we want easy things. Most of the things we want them to be delivered at our shops. So, and then we have been losing a lot of money through middlemen.
Yes.
So we think with this good strategy, it's going to ease doing business. And then, luckily enough, I had the presentation of the Commissioner General, where he's even availing a chance to our members who are not complying. So where there is manyanga, it's high time to make sure that how do you comply?
Yes.
For sure, when I was moving around with the team, in my mind, I was talking with my spokesperson, Mr. Sechito. I said, Tulina. Reason, with this innovation, for sure, any Ugandan, you're supposed to comply. And by the way, with this good strategy, I'm sure on our side, we in business, it's going to level the ground for competition. If all of us can pay the taxes, it means so the competition ground is going to be leveled.
Yes.
So it will be very unfortunate to have been competing with some comrades where they don't pay taxes. So if there is no way you can compete with someone who cannot pay taxes, of course we shall be running out of business. So that's why we decided as Kasita, can we partner with URA? Can we work together? Can we sensitize our comrades to change their perception towards tax compliance? And by the way, URA's strategy of engaging the taxpayers, I think it also has several results. Lately, you find it so hard when Kasita we are organizing a strike, because we have several engagements with the URA, we have several engagements with Ministry of Finance, so we are consulted in policy formation, and then we try to design strategies of transferring back the information to our members.
Yes.
So I think with this strategy for URA is so good. And then what may be where we may have some challenges, at times we have a perception that we fear change.
Oh, yeah.
You find that now, like when my comrade, I think, will be presenting for Stanbic Bank, the banks also have adopted the digital strategies.
Yes.
But again, you want all of us to go in the bank and congest the banks. So I think with this, I request URA to make sure that they design ways of interesting more people to utilize the digital systems, because they simplify the process. And even what has interested me, even the transparency. There is no way you can negotiate with someone, even if you request for a brown envelope. It's so hard. How are you going to request for a brown envelope when you cannot know the person you're talking to? So for sure, I think it's going to ease the tax money's strategy of collecting taxes. So before I was coming here, I was trying to consult from different sectoral leaders, because currently we are transforming Kasita into a multi-sectoral association.
Okay.
And that's why it's Kasita Uganda, a multi-sectoral association with different structures. So I was consulting my comrades that what are the challenges we are finding into these digital strategies of URA. It's so hard to find a trader praising URA. But they told me, and now for this issue, for this new code, where you can pay for the presumptive tax.
Yes.
It eases the whole process. Even there is no way you can hire an auditor. You just through the simple codes, and then you pay and you clear. And then I asked them, then what about the issue of the pricing? The pricing. Okay, the pricing. There were some were complaining that the pricing a little bit high, like for the digital stamps.
Yes.
But the response I was getting that URA is engaging them. So when URA continues engaging different stakeholders to get feedback,
yes,
I'm sure it will improve these platforms, and I'm sure it will improve the relationship between a taxman and the taxpayer.
Good.
One time I was on a TV show And then I was appreciating the initiative being innovated here at URA. So one of the panelists told me now, Mr. Chair, a rat praising a cat. It's unbelievable because at a certain level, this cat will eat you. Be careful. I present.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And I think from you, what we get is continue engagements, engage. And because information simplifies response.
And by the way, what maybe I can add on, I wish the guys from National Bureau of Standards were here. We have issues. After clearing, again, they delay us for a month, 2 months. So I think also, Honorable Minister, let us also finance National Bureau of Standards to be more digital.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Honorable Minister, I was requesting, can you allocate something for National Bureau of Standards to be more digital, to ease the way we operate? That would be so wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, and what, Doctor, you have said is that, okay, we already see action happening across the floor here. So yes, continue the good work, and our collaborations will definitely continue hereafter. And you mentioned that Stanbic has walked this path, and in a minute or so, because I've been told our table has been set, in a minute or so, Mr. Gabriel, what lessons would you share with us so that even as we roll out all these platforms, we continually improve on our client experience? Thank you.
Thank you, Jessie, and good afternoon, everyone. And again, congratulations to the Revenue Authority on this remarkable milestone in your digital journey. It's really a pleasure to be part of it. Jessie, maybe I'll highlight about 3 key milestones in terms of lessons that we've experienced. Lesson number 1 is, contrary to popular belief, the critical investment is in your people. Your people first, even before the technology.
Okay.
Because, your technology, your customers, your stakeholders, the critical interface in there is people. So invest in their well-being, invest in their learning, and their growth, their development needs. It will go a long way in easing the delivery of your strategy. Your people are the custodians of your strategy and all your ambitions. So that's a critical lesson that has been for us. Second is, involve your technology partners right from the start, and I can tell that that's something that URA has gotten right. A lot of the time you lose so much in resources, whether it's time or money, because you've had a conversation, it has lasted 12 months, and now you're trying to bring it to life, and you're only bringing in your tech partners, and then there's that friction. Maybe it's not possible, or maybe there's certain investments that should have been made much earlier in the process, in parallel. So that's a critical part. Bring them on board, let them be part of the journey. And closely related to that is, put the customer need first, pivoting off what Mr. Tadeo just mentioned. At the end of the day, it's all about the customer. Understand their persona, and there are different segments. They're not all the same. Sometimes you might have 5, 6 categories of customers.
Sure.
And you can't deploy one solution that will work for all of them.
Yeah.
The definition of digital could be different for all those 6 segments of customers. So understanding what their transaction needs are, understanding what their fears are, their tech savvy level, all of that is important. And closely related to that is, involve them as much as possible in your solutioning. So co-create with them.
Yes.
I'm sure Tadeo would be a valuable insight in
Absolutely.
creating that customer journey, whether it's on online banking or USSD. He'll tell you, this is challenging. Could this be placed here? Could this be,
Thank you.
So that's really the critical lessons I would say we've learned.
Okay, absolutely. So build the people will deliver the business.
Yeah.
Okay, and in order for people to deliver the business, we need a national backbone set up. So, Collins, what plans do you have to, just in a very simple way, what does the national backbone mean for Tadeos here, and what are the plans we have to make that solid? You may need to issue a few requests to the Honorable Minister as well to support you on that. So please go ahead and share with us.
Thank you, Jesse, and thank you all. I'll be as brief as I can because I bet we're standing before the lunchtime. Let me say that, first of all, as the National IT Authority, or NITA Uganda, I want to speak as a regulator now and just thank URA. And Honorable Minister, I just want to thank the CG and the URA team. From regulatory perspective, URA has been a leader, an IT leader, working on efficiencies, and they have been recognized for using technology to serve the people better. So I really want to thank URA and thank the leadership team. Commissioner Robert, I mean, you're all blessed to have a brilliant commissioner here with you. If you don't pay him well, I think NITA will be able to take him sooner than later. But allow me to say that, first of all, you may have seen the Honorable Minister, you saw the young dancers who are here.
Yes.
That represents the Ugandan. Ugandans are young, they're energetic, they are technology savvy, and we need to begin to think technology first when we are serving our Ugandans. And I think many times we are thinking about serving traditional means. Now I'm in my mid-40s, and unfortunately, I realized with the Ugandan population, I am now in the last oldest 10% of the population. 10%. And I can see many people here also who are in that bracket.
Yes.
It means that the population that we need to serve better is below 40. 90% of the Ugandan population is below 40. They are young, they're energetic, they want to use technology. So the government should not be waiting for the population to come to them. The government should be going to the population, using e-governance, using smart ways like the systems you have all seen here. And that's what my job is, trying to connect Uganda, help with the digital transformation journey. So I just want to say that, number one, URA has ticked all the 3 A's that we use to measure. Are your systems and strategy, is it accessible to Ugandans? Yes. Now it's accessible. You can use phones, you can use a kabiriti, you can use a laptop, you can walk into a branch. So URA has ticked accessibility. URA has also ticked affordability, because now with your phone, you can now access services and file your taxes. So that is a big plus. It has also ticked the availability. You know, services are good, but if they're not available, if your systems are always off, you will never be able to do e-governance in the right way. So URA has ticked those boxes. And I want to thank URA from a regulatory perspective. I want to say that if you want maybe, Honorable Minister, I'm going to say, and members of Parliament, if you want to understand the significance of URA and the IT systems, if you switched off the IT systems of URA for 6 hours, just 6 hours, I'm sure CG will say 1 hour, the amount of chaos, trouble, money lost, time lost, traders at customs borders in trouble, tells you the nature of the digital importance in Uganda. If you efficiently manage systems, they're working. If they are not available, we are also in trouble. So I want to thank URA for that. But allow me, even just as I answer your last part of the question, to just ride on to what Doctor said, since Honorable Minister is here, is to say that all these systems, and the members of Parliament are also here, all these systems are good, but if they are not accessible to our citizens, then we don't have it right. They must be connected. But what's most important, and I was hoping that I can speak to the Minister. I see Andrew Mwenda is speaking to the Minister. So let me get the attention of the Minister briefly.
Andrew, don't shoot me when we are out of here. But I never get a chance to have the minister and the CG in the same room. And let me speak as an ambassador for digital transformation. Honorable Minister, we cannot speak about all these digital things that we're doing right now if smartphones are still expensive for our Ugandans. We cannot. And I'm a government official, so I'm very careful how I'm saying this because I need taxes to pay my salary. But I think it's important that we look carefully at the tax regimes and policies and reduce. There's a particular band of entry-level, affordable smartphones that our youth that you saw dancing here, our people in the rural areas in Hoima and in Kabong can afford. You can tax the phones that our parliamentarians have here. They have iPhones. And people have here Samsungs. Tax those ones. But don't tax that 400,000 and below smartphone. You will see the digital transformation in this country. The accessibility, the move. So I am happy to share a paper with you that helps to really work that policy, and I hope the Finance Committee will support us. But let me say this also, because the Minister of Finance has supported NITA to rationalize and to provide services for connectivity. We want to connect the whole country using the backbone that you mentioned. Because smartphones and internet are the two ingredients that actually transform a country.
Yeah.
You must have a smartphone, but a smartphone without internet is useless. Okay. So last month, we lowered the price of internet within government by half to $35. It's now come down half the price. But it's still expensive by international standards. So we need to lower that even further. So as NITA and the Minister of ICT, we're looking at how to penetrate the country further with fiber optic to lower the price of internet. Yes. So we hope that in the next 4 years, we shall reach every parish with connectivity using the UDAP and Phase 5 processes that you know, Honorable Minister, through the World Bank and Exim Bank. Using those projects, we want to reach every parish in the next 4 years with connectivity. So that's the backbone that you were talking about. That's our dream, that's our desire, and we are just 53 districts so far connected on the backbone, but we have about more than 140 districts right now. So we still have work to do. At NITA and the Minister of ICT, we look forward to providing that leadership.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the panel. I know it feels like we have just started the conversation, but we have many channels through which this conversation can go on our Twitter handle, the different platforms that are available. I would like to thank you so much for giving us the jaribu, which the Swahili would say, and we look forward to more collaborative engagements. Thank you for supporting us and partnering with us. We will be seeking out more engagements because the teams seated here cannot drive the information alone. We are going to need to pull our hands together to make this happen. So ladies and gentlemen, thank the panel for me for this very brief snippet that we have worked on together, even as I release you to go back to your seats and I hand back over to Mr. Mugisha. I hope I have tried.
You tried.
Please do tell me.
You dearly tried.
Thank you.
You were between us and lunch, and I kept looking at people. Instead of looking at you badly, it is me they were looking at badly. So for every minute I came to talk to you, somebody had sent me. Trust me. All right. Okay. Can we give the panel another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Honorable Minister, we are done. Just only two asks. One is that we have a couple of certificates you're going to give out here to our great innovators at URA. And there is a beautiful cake that has been prepared, which we will cut as we go for lunch. So that you will not sit again. Immediately you stand here, we will not get you up. So before I invite the minister, can I invite the very first category? These are awards for the URA staff who have been driving innovation for the last 3 years here at URA. And they have different groups and categories. I want to start with Touchpoint, and the people that baptized this as Touchpoint. You will be represented by Aubrey Muzora. So can we have that certificate very close here? Honorable Minister, please come with the CG. And the chairman of the Finance Committee, and the three of you, and Sheila. Sheila, I think it will be right for you to be here as our key stakeholder on innovation here at URA. So the certificate will be awarded to Aubrey on behalf of the Touchpoint team, all right? But the Touchpoint team is here. So you will stand in the background as they receive. So you let's go up, yes. So the team in red are the ones who named the Touchpoint, huh? Okay. This is our Touchpoint team. Aubrey will receive on behalf of Touchpoint. The whole Touchpoint team is here. Our next recipients are USSD. Clearly, it's an IT language. USSD, Jole Waswa, please come. Jole is receiving on behalf of the team. Thank you very much, Touchpoint. Next is USSD. Jole is receiving on behalf of this team. This team included Nicholas Taibo, Mario Studiasingura, Sentamu Walter, Okello Joel, Saidan Amirembe, Jimmy Kansime, and Noela Kakai. That is USSD. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for USSD. Our next is IFRIS, our IFRIS team. So to all the taxpayers, this is the IFRIS team. And Hassan Wasaja is representing the IFRIS team. Hassan, very quickly, Hassan, we don't have a lot of time. You're between us and lunch, huh? All right. So this team had Hassan Wasaja, Eima Twine, Nancy Katsime, Michael Kwagondeza, Deze, Enos Wakoko, Dick Oluge Edward. The IFRIS team. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The next team is the BWIMS, BWIMS. Bastova Charles is representing the team. Charles, please come. I don't know if Charles is there. If your team representative is not here, I will ask the other person. Is Charles here? But I see it had Charlotte Abasa, Grace Atujuna, Sheila Kobusto. Well, I'll stay with the Sheila name. Marjorie Nakato, Enoch Munyagwa, Rutabura Robert, and Amy Jean Omega. Can we get a representative from the BWIMS team? Are we getting a representative? Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. A rep is coming. At least one of those who were mentioned is coming. Next is e-learning platform. And I want Robert Wamala to come closer. Robert, you will be next after the BWIMS team. And we have a representative here. So they help improve efficiency in revenue mobilization, the BWIMS team. Please give our BWIMS team a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Robert Wamala is representing e-learning platform. Yeah, she's representing the team. All right. Robert Wamala is representing the e-learning platform team that had Rogers Lumala and Michael Marembe. Robert, thank you very much to you and your team for the cost-effective training platform for both internal and external stakeholders. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Next is a very interesting team, URA TV. URA TV, I know Keen has not seen your registration yet, but URA TV, Solomon Chimbugwe, you're representing this team, but please come with your team players. They also want to appear on URA TV because we are streaming live right now. So you must appear also on URA TV. So this team had Solomon Chimbugwe, Michael Masembe, Michael Kavma, and Jackson Mukonyezi. There you go, Honorable Minister. That's the URA TV team. They haven't registered with NAB yet, but they are coming. They help improve URA's internal communications, but also the stakeholder communications. Next is the Research Lab. Research Lab, Tina Kaidu will be representing the Research Lab. Tina, they help implement a secure research data laboratory facility, second of its kind on the African continent. All right? So we want to appreciate this team, Tina and your team that are represented. Tina was working with Nicholas Mustoke, Norbert Afia, and Agaba Gerald. All right? Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Research Lab. Next is the data center migration. Data center migration. Jackson Serunjoji is representing the team. Jackson and some of your team members. This team has Eria Kaduli, Irene Chisache, Henrietta, who I worked with a very long time ago at NTV. It has Ismail Kalanzi, Mark Wagubala, Max Mike Ayoti, Nicholas Seremba, Norman Bakablindi, Ronald Murunji, Sad Lawrence Mboga, Simon Peter Matovu, William Cheswa, and Flavia Nabunya. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the data center migration. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. This built our tier 3 data center, which will guarantee a high level of availability and reliability. We want to thank you. And finally, the new taxpayer ledgers and web return forms. This team will be represented by Charles Opio. Charles Opio, please come and represent your team. This team included Charlotte Mole Nampija, Sharon Proskovia Auma, Christine Mirembe, Gary Chizito, and Flavia Nimanya. Ladies and gentlemen, this team helped with the simplification of the taxpayer ledger for ease of interpretation by staff and taxpayers, as well as implementation of correct tax accounting rules, including interest payment. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for new taxpayer ledgers and web return forms. Honorable Minister, now we are moving to cut the cake. We are done. And the moment we're done with cutting the cake, we'll move down. I will ask the Commissioner General to usher yourself and the UNDP country representative plus our committee, finance committee, to lunch. And that really will mark the end of our digital launch. So the cake detail is very simple. You count from 3 and everyone will just support you in cutting this cake, which will signify the official launch of the digital strategy by URA. So 3, 2, okay, I'm glad the city commissioner is here. All right. 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I want to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Honorable Minister, the Commissioner General will guide you to lunch. And that really marks the end of our digital strategy launch. Please do not go without having our lunch. You all have been invited to lunch. And I want to ask Sechito to come and pray for our lunch. Let us have more inclusion. So I'll ask Issa Sechito to come and pray for lunch. Only lunch, sir. Don't add other things. Oh
Lord, our loving Master in heaven, we thank you for all the time we have been here. It is indeed a pleasure and a happiness to have such a wonderful facility at the URA. It sends a message back home. And when I say back home, I mean all of you taxpayers, please wake up, because we don't want URA to leave us miles away. This is something so achieved. I pray for the food that we are going to eat, that it energizes us, it gives us the wisdom, because God, if you don't keep the city, the rest are wasting their time. In thy name, I pray.
Thank you very much, Issa. You know, you give Issa a microphone at your own peril. And I was really praying while you were praying that we stick to the guidance I had offered. We want to thank you all for coming, ladies and gentlemen. You're being ushered to lunch. Our team will guide you to the serving center. The same center we had for breakfast is where the lunch is being served. And then we'll return to the room and enjoy our lunch. On behalf of the URA and our partners UNDP, we want to thank you and wish you a good afternoon.
Uganda Revenue Authority reminds all taxpayers to file their monthly returns and make all outstanding payments by the 15th of every month. Please comply to avoid penalties and interest associated with failure to file returns and payment of these taxes. For further clarifications, call us on our toll-free line 0800 117 000 or email us on services@ura.go.ug. Please ignore this message if you have already complied.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Mugasha, did you see the game last night?
I slept looking for a receipt. Up to now, I'm still looking for it.
What kind of receipt?
There is a certain receipt. I need to file my returns. I'm trying to find it.
By the way, do you know these guys of URA asked for 3 million from me?
Me, I paid 500,000 only.
You mean you pay only 500,000?
Yes.
They asked for 3 million. Why am I being asked to pay more?
I don't know.
You must know. We have the same level of capital, same rent, same premises. We even meet the same expenses. Why am I being taxed more?
I don't know. But for me, I sent my income and expenses via the URA website.
So they are punishing me because I did not send that through the website. Mugisha, you know these things. You know the type of expenses we go through here.
I know. But how will URA believe you if you don't write them down or keep records for your receipt as proof for your income and expenses for your butchery?
Mugisha, you mean you write all these things down?
Yes, I do. I write every detail. You see, the good, the amount, and the person involved.
But where do you get the time to write all this?
Immediately the transaction is done, or at the end of the day. But at minimum, I must know the income and expenses for each day. Otherwise, it is very easy to forget or confuse.
So, this is how your tax is being reduced?
Actually, it automatically shows me the tax I have to pay, without reducing my business capital. It also helps me not mix my business money with the money I get from the garden. Aha. Do you know that this book is showing me that you haven't paid me the carton of soda I advanced you last month?
Mugasha, you also remember that?
Yes. This book helps me to remember every detail about this shop.
Mugasha, guy, you know things and you don't even tell me.
You didn't ask. Try it. You'll thank me later.
Let me first deal with the customer.
But wait, don't forget to pay the URA tax in time.
I won't. I will not.
Okay.